Alright, so stem and leaf. I think probably the easiest way for me to teach you is just to like do it, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So basically, we're gonna put like all the zeros in one row. So like 0, 5, 0, 8. Or we're gonna put all the 10s in one row. We're gonna put the 20s in one row, 30s in one row. So we're gonna put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left-hand side. And I didn't put a 5 because there's no numbers in our data set in the 50s. And then these don't even have to go in order so this is like the stem, and then our leaves go over here. We don't even have to put them in order. So any number that is just like 0 something, so 0, 8 and 0, 5, go there. So what I have just done is I've listed these two numbers. 0, 8 and then 0, 5. It doesn't matter if you put them in order or not. If you had to find the median afterwards, you should put them in order because that would make your life a lot easier then. But if you're just making a stem and leaf plot, it doesn't have to go in order. So then I'm going to find all the 10s. So 15, I'm just putting the 5. 10, I'm just putting the 0. 12, I'm putting the 2. 15, I'm putting the 5. And then 18. See what I'm doing? Good? So go ahead and finish. I'll give you a second, then I'll just do it after you. Make sure we have the same thing. What?
I was just going to somewhere contact you had all.
You gotta do the lead part in order. I mean, if I were having to work with it, I would, but.
For the last part, I wrote all the numbers out because I didn't know that had to be in order. So, like, if you have it all right now,
Oh, so it's just easier, yeah. So you're gonna put like 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can like just put a space and then put 50.
So does they you guys make you do anything for this? Like write anything?
Yeah, I'll get to it. So let me finish mine. So 30, 34, 41, 44. So if I just gave you this step plot, like let's say I just gave you that, and I didn't tell you what it was about, and you didn't have any other information, but I just gave you a sheet of paper with just that on it, and I said, what's the biggest number in that list of data? You wouldn't know if it's 44 or 4.4 or 0.44 or 1,044. So you have to make a key to let the reader know what it is. So you just pick out one number and say what it is. So you're going to say like 1 line 5 equals 15. And that establishes like, okay, well if that means 15, well then I know that must mean 20 and 30 and 40. You know what I mean? You're like, because really I could put 1/5 equals 1.5 and make the exact same stem plot. That'd be totally different numbers. And you want to put a title. So we're also going to put like number of home runs. And that is a stem and leaf plot. Questions on stem and leaf? Okay, histogram. What we want to do on a histogram is on the side, put frequency. On the bottom, we're going to make like bins that we put every number into these bins. And you want to be thoughtful about how you pick your bins. So, for example, and I'm just going to like do this off to the side and do it incorrectly. If I made my bin 0 through 50, I'm like, okay, well, there's 20 data points in there. Does that help me understand what's happening with the data? So that's way too big of a bin. if I made my bins like 1, then it just becomes like a pain in the butt, and I might as well just have done a stem and leaf plot. The idea is we're trying to group numbers, like by 5s or by 10s or by something that makes sense. Just try to think about something that makes sense. And I would say 5s works here. I would say 10 works here. You know what I mean? Just don't make it like a 1 or 2 huge bins, because then you won't be able to tell what's going on. And don't make it super tiny bins, because then it just becomes like tedious and a pain. So you want to find something like in the middle. So I'm gonna go by 5s. So I'm gonna go like 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. And you could, like some people do this, and it's a little easier to interpret or even to do. You could go like, okay, this is 0 to 4. This is 5 to 9. 10 to 14. You know what I mean? So then you can tell, like, okay, those numbers in between there and there goes there. It might be a little easier to read that way, but you could do it either way. And then it also eliminates, because some people are like, okay, if it's 35, like, which side does it go on? And this answers that question. You do want your bars to touch. So this gets into a different thing, but this is numerical data. When you're doing numbers, you want the bars to touch. If I were doing categories, like red, white, and yellow or something, I would want to put a space between them, and then that's called a bar graph instead of a histogram. But because they don't like blend into each other, like 4 goes into 5, goes into 6, so they all touch. But red doesn't necessarily go into white, doesn't necessarily go like juniors. See, I guess juniors and seniors do. But so if you have categories, you separate them with a space, but with numbers you don't. So I'm just counting. How many are there between 0 and 4? None. Then at the side, I'm going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So between 5 and 9, there are 2 data points, right? So I'm going to go up here, and then it's a lot easier to read it if you put a 2 either in the box or on top of the box. Either way. 10 to 14, there's 2. 15 to 19, there's 3. 20 to 24, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now I can kind of see the shape a little bit. Like, where are the most of them? Where are they spread out? How is the shape of the graph? 25, there's 4 of them. 30 to 34, there's 2. And then 41 to 44, there's 2. You can put the number like on top or in. I just cross it out because the other ones were in it as bothering. But that's histogram. But that's kind of like, that's easier to interpret, I think. So I can look at that really quickly and be like, well, there's nothing between 35 and 39. Where the stem and leaf plot, that's just a little harder to see. I can see, okay, this kind of looks like, kind of like a bell curve type of thing. Where the stem and leaf, again, that's just a little harder to see. So the histogram's nice for that. What am I missing? Need a title. Number of home runs. Questions? So your job is to have that whole thing done, which I think we just did most of it together. But both sides, all the graphs done, and you're going to turn it in tomorrow. And that's like your first, you have to have this turned in to be eligible for the retakes or recovery or whatever situation. So if you don't turn it in, you are then ineligible for a retake on the first side. See you tomorrow. And you're pretty much done right now anyway, right? Close. And it is on